Rodgers received a $14,000 fine for violating COVID protocols, but the QB is still looking to return to the field this weekend against the Seahawks. And during his weekly appearance on the Pat McAfee Show, the reigning MVP apologized for making misleading remarks about his initial vaccine status, adding, quote, "To anybody who felt misled by those comments, I take full responsibility for those comments." Shannon, how much has this tarnished Rodgers' legacy?
None.
None?
Skip, because here's the
After you've been scathing on this man.
here's the thing, Skip. Everything, all he did was confirm what I already thought of him as a person. Now, he doesn't change football. I think he's tremendous. He's as great a thrower of the football, maybe if not the greatest thrower of the football. He has 3 regular season MVPs. He has a Super Bowl MVP on his resume. He has the greatest touchdown to interception ratio in NFL history. So as a player, he's everything that you thought. But also as a person, after hearing him talk, he confirmed what I thought about him. He's smug. He's arrogant.
That's what you thought about him. How about what the world thought of him?
I'm not so sure everybody didn't think that about Skip. You hear his press conference. I mean, you listen at him talk. You watch his mannerisms on the field. You get that indication that he's very self-righteous, that he's above everybody, that you made the mistake. I threw the ball in the dirt because you ran a step too far. That's how he thinks in his mind, that he's beyond reproach. He thinks that, Skip, and he's a guy that if you didn't play the game, you didn't coach the game, how dare you critique me? How dare you critique my performance?
Yep.
Who are you? You're beneath me.
Thank you.
He thinks that Skip, I think I do my job better than someone else do their job. I don't think because I have this job, I'm better than you. That's how he thinks. So for me, I look at Aaron Rodgers as the same. A tremendous, historically all-time greats player that's smug, arrogant, narcissistic, flippant, condescending. That's what I think of him. That doesn't change. So for me, Skip, if you're an Aaron Rodgers fan, I don't believe you would move one way. If you're not a fan of his, you're like, see, that's why I couldn't get behind you.
Shannon Sharp, for the 6 years we've worked together, I have been steadfast in my belief and my position on Aaron Rodgers from the start that off the field impacts on the field. He's one of the poorest excuses for leadership I've ever seen. So it undercuts his ability to be a top-flight quarterback. And I believe that the world mostly saw Aaron very differently than I did. And it took until he's almost 38 years of age for him to be exposed, that I think the world at large finally saw what I've been seeing and saying about Aaron Rodgers for maybe 10 years on national television. That he is a smug, arrogant diva, a blame deflector, a finger pointer, the polar opposite of Tom Brady in leadership, that in the end, he cares only about Aaron to the detriment of his football team and his ability to command said football team.
Right.
It's a large part of why he has fallen to 1 and 4 in NFC championship games. It's a large part of the reason of why, since that one long ago run to a Super Bowl, he was the MVP. He's 7 and 8 in postseason games, and a bunch of the 7 are pretty lucky because there was the Dez catch game, there was the Mason crossbar game, in which he kicked 2 intergalactic field goals to beat my Cowboys at Jerry World in a first-round playoff game. Is actually their second playoff game, but they were from 51 and 56 yards. He's been able to beat Joe Webb in a playoff game, Kirk Cousins in a playoff game. He was the beneficiary of Odell taking his receivers to South Beach for that game up on the frozen tundra at Lambeau. So he's actually been pretty lucky to even be 7 and 8 in the postseason. Yet if you hark back, there was a lot of sympathy that built for Aaron Rodgers because he was the guy who got left at the altar in the green room of the draft. Remember on draft night, he fell from, could have been the first pick in the draft with Alex Smith back and forth 50-50.
And he's still mad about that.
And he fell all the way to 24th. He had to sit in that green room for a long time, right?
You remember, hold on, when was that? You remember in Green Bay when they didn't take a knee, they linked arms and they booed? And then the next week, Aaron Rodgers come out there and throw 3-4 touchdowns, and they cheer it again.
Okay.
That's just how,
I got it.
that's how fans are wired.
But the other sympathy card that got played for him was he had to sit for 3 years behind another guy that a lot of people thought was an even bigger diva in Brett Favre.
Right.
Am I retiring? Am I staying? Am I going? Okay. And he sat for 3 years. Then he got his chance. And once he got his chance, he also got his commercial. And you can't tell me those State Farm commercials aren't great for a Chris Paul or an Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Because it puts them on the national map.
Right.
Casual fans know him more from the State Farm commercial.
Right.
Oh, he's that great guy in the
Right.
State Farm. It's discount double check, right?
Right.
From the start. This is going all the way back
and
to...
you get an opportunity to get seen outside of what you do for a living. So they get to see another side of you, Skip. Now, Chris Paul is not dribbling the basketball. Now, Aaron Rodgers is not throwing a football. We get to see them as a human being. Because, you know, as an athlete, sometimes you don't get viewed
in Aaron's
as human.
case, it fools you into thinking, oh, he's a great guy.
It really get great,
Oh, what a great guy he is.
Yeah,
in those
Jake,
commercials.
yeah.
Jake from State Farm, he loves Aaron. And Aaron loves, oh, he's a great guy. No, he's not. So his reputation got permanently stained to me because a lot of people are going to think very differently going forward about Aaron Rodgers.
But I believe a lot of those people, Skip, had already had an idea of who they thought Aaron Rodgers was just by listening to him talk, listening to see how his mannerisms, you know, like you said, coming off the field, he rolling his eyes, and a receiver does this, he doing this, like you got to flatten the route off. It's a lot of the things that he do that shapes the perception of, like, is he like that? And then you hear him talk. Yep, that's exactly how he is.
Okay, and he didn't do himself any more good post getting exposed for...
Because he didn't apologize.
He didn't apologize. He showed zero contrition in either of the two interviews that he's done on the McAfee show.
Shouldn't have, like, I'm sorry?
Yep. Nope. Nothing. Not a word.
Because he's not. He just, the blowback got so great, and maybe some of his handlers, one of these crisis management guys, like, look, you need to go out there and try to do a 180, do an about face, and, you know, even if it, because it didn't come out as sincere.
For anybody I misled, I take full responsibility. Hell with you, because I am who I am. And I said what I said. Right. I take full responsibility.
So if you stand by what you said, you're not sorry for what you said.
Not at all sorry.
Skip, I thought the whole point of an apology was to show contrition and be apologetic for what you may have said or what you've done. But if you say that, you know, I did this, but I stand by what I said, how are you apologetic? How are you sorry for what you said? How is that contrition? Yeah, I said that. I stand by the comments. So if I offended you, oh well.
He is what he always was.
Yes.
Yeah, even more on display than before. Guys, Scottie Pippen has continued his campaign against Michael Jordan. Maybe he is what I didn't realize he was before, or maybe more than that. I don't know. We'll share the link.
Scottie, a good guy. You're a good guy.
Were hit with a $300,000 penalty. The violations included Rodgers not wearing a mask during news conferences and the team not reporting Rodgers and Ellen Lazard attending a Halloween party away from the team facility. So Green Bay apparently did comply with the investigation, but was also warned that future violations could result in draft pick discipline. We've been all over this. Shannon, was this enough?
No. Skip, I got a simple question I want to ask you, and I want to ask the people at home. Had Aaron Rodgers not come down with the COVID virus, do you believe the NFL would have fined the Green Bay Packers?
Well, obviously, they had let this go on and on and on. Half the season.
That's my point.
Yep.
So this was about a save face. This was about a PR move, because you saw him go out there week 1. From week 1 to week 8, you knew he was unvaccinated because Aaron Rodgers said the NFL knew he was unvaccinated.
Yep.
The Packers knew he was unvaccinated. That's what he said. Yet, post-game news press conferences, he walked into a room. If you're unvaccinated, you're supposed to have a mask. He did not. For 8 weeks, and the NFL didn't say anything. The Green Bay Packers didn't say anything, even though they knew he was unvaccinated. When he contracted COVID, then all of a sudden, the PR, the bad press that all of a sudden the NFL got, because we know they're very reactive. Not proactive, they're reactive. And they say, well, hold on. You knew he was unvaccinated. You saw him come in and out of press conferences. You saw him at this Halloween party. You saw him hugging players after games were over, Skip, with no mask, unvaccinated. Yet you said nothing, yet you did nothing. It was only after that he went on the Pat McAfee show and tried to and it got such bad press.
Yep.
The NFL really didn't have a choice. Skip, here's the thing, and I get this is a very similar fine to what they gave last year, but Skip, last year was different. We know more now. We have the vaccine now. Protocol should have been strictly enforced. The mandate should have been strictly enforced.
Yep.
And to let this thing get so lax, to let him just